Okie dokie nerds, welcome back to another vintage video. Today we're playing some Dredge on a sweltering hot day in London, but the Marvel set has just dropped, and the exciting thing for us in Dredge is the Living Laser, um, which is going to be a Dread return target for us today. So 5 mana 4/4 haste. When the Living Laser attacks, for each card you've discarded this turn, create a token that's a copy, except it isn't legendary, and the tokens enter tapped and attacking. So if we activate Bazaar and Dread Return a Living Laser, that is 16 damage, which is pretty decent. So don't think there's much else in the format at the moment that deals 16 damage in one turn. So that's cool for us. We've also got a few other ways to push that up. We've got Street Wraith to cycle and dredge with. We've got Phantasmagorian. Discard 3 cards, return this to your hand. We've also actually got Unmask as well, to maybe unmask self, activate Bazaar, get going quickly, yeah, and then we can kill on turn 1, turn 2. I did think I wanted to get a Git probe in here. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I am going to do that. I might drop a Thug quickly, stand by. Yeah, so as I was saying, this is the list. Just 3 Thugs this week, because I think playing a Taxian probe is a good idea. Because that means we can activate Bazaar, maybe probe them, then Street Wraith them, and then get, 2 Dredges on turn 1, so that sort of idea. We're going to try and maximize that, go all in, unmask, discard their own cards. We're running the Griefs in the main as well and 4 Therapies. The Therapies can get more cards into our bin, which will make our Living Lasers better whilst also interacting. This list, though, we're going to be very, very reliant on these Narcomoebas. The first Narcomoeba is going to be make or break in a lot of matches. We've got 3 Icarids, we've got 4 Poxwalkers, and 4 Bridge from Belows. And the idea is that the first Narcomoeba generates enough for the first Dread return, right? Because we're going to make a bridge and 2 Poxes, 2 bridges and 1 Pox, that sort of thing. So the first Narc is a really big boon to us. Or we have to wait to the untap and get the Icarid going. So still fine, just we're not going to be quite as good at those combat games. We're going to be more about our combo games in this sort of list. And then what else is going on in the format? The main thing that's happening at the moment is the Fantastica, which is also from this set. Raker Shops dumping 16 power on turn 1. So we've got 4 Vigors, 4 Mindbreak Traps, 4 Sickening Trolls, obviously not for that matchup, and then 3 Revivals, because I couldn't fit the Revivals in. So I wanted the Lasers, the Street Race, the Phantasmagorians, and the Unmasks. So I couldn't find space for the Unmasks. I couldn't find space for the Hollow Ones. We're just going to cope and see how often we get to laser some people. I don't know any Marvel lore, so I guess this is just like a knockoff Flash that didn't... I don't know what the Flash is from either, but hey ho. Or maybe it's a way to try and beat the Flash. Who knows? Anyway, this card's red and fast. Let's play some games. Okay, round 1, we're on the draw up against Tezi, and we've got a banger to start with here. So let's see what they come with. They've not got a Lurus. Let's see if they've got a Bazaar of Baghdad. Okay, so our Unmask can go at ourselves. If they our Unmask can go at us if they let us. That's because we don't want to get griefed. It could also get Force of Willed. So Icarid, Silver Smoke Ghoul, Shambling Shell. They've got a hollow one, and that's that. Okay, so they've got... We're just going to unmask Self, and we're going to pitch this Poxwalker. It's a shame we've got a Narcomoeba in hand. Oh, we've got a Grief as well. So I can actually grief them for Force of Will, right? Then that could get in the way of a bridge token. But I don't think that matters. I think we'd rather grief them, because we've got bridges, so we've won game 1 pretty much anyway. We just don't want our Unmask to get forced. They've not got a Force. They have got a Noxious, which we'll just take. Well, they do have a Force, they just don't have a blue card. And now we'll unmask Self, pitching Poxwalkers, discarding Grave Troll, and now I'll play Bazaar of Baghdad and activate it, and hey look, I'm going to dredge 6. So then I'm going to dredge 3, hit my Narcomoeba. We didn't hit a Therapy on the way through here. That's fine, we've got a Narc, and next turn with 2 Bazaars, they should just die. They get an Icarid back. Their hand is not going to be too useful. Although they missed on a dredger. So they missed on a dredger. They hit a creeping chill. And then they discarded chill and powder and shambling shell. So we know that they're holding force of negation +1. So our first therapy, which we hit next turn, is gonna have to go into that force of negation before we dread return. We're gonna take our 7 here, take our medicine. This is another shambling shell. And they hit another Ichrid and a Stinkweed Imp. So shambling shell, force of negation +1 in hand. The opponent, we want this Narc because we've got a dread return, so we'll go to 10. They get a creature back into play and their Ichrid dies. So they're pretty lined up to kill us next turn, but we've got 2 bazaars. So we'll take our draw step, obviously, and we'll just draw the Grave Troll, right? Oh, I've got a Stinkweed Imp. Doesn't matter, right? Let's just take this. And then I do hit a therapy, 2 living lasers, 2 bridge from below. So this should just be a really comfortable kill from here. Let's hope our opponent lets us do it. Mill 5. Mill 4. Ding, ding, ding. No response. Say yes. And then... So we're going to have discarded 5 cards this turn. Down to 17 cards in deck. It's another Narcomoeba. And now let's therapy you off of a Narc that can't attack. Okay. And then we name negation. So, force of... Oh, Dorse. The Dorche de Negation. Force of negation. Oh my gosh. Force of negation. This one here. Take that. They didn't find a blue card. Dread return. I only found 1 dread return. That's interesting. And we'll dread return Pox, Narc, because then I just get more tokens. And then I get to attack with 6 living lasers and a Narcomoeba. So let's not misclick. Let's attack with everything. We've got a trigger here. Quabamo. Okay. That was only -2. Oh yeah, because they chilled a bunch, didn't they? Okay, so that's actually like a massive issue. Hey ho, never mind. Let's go. Did I have a Phantasmagorian there? I did, but I didn't have the 3 cards. Yeah. So what do I want? I want Vigors. And I want Noxious. My interaction is still fine, right? Well, no. My griefs are bad. Maybe we can cut a living laser. The therapies are so good at getting us in there. Maybe we can cut a living laser and a Phantasmagorian, something like this. I don't usually cut the target though, do I? What if we cut a Pox? I want to trim. I want to have access to these green cards. I'm going to cut the probe. I think the probe is questionable anyway. So let's go like this. So I'm down 1 Phantasmagorian, 1 Poxwalker, 4 Griefs. In exchange, I've got 4 answers to a Leyline and 4 Noxious Revivals. I'm hoping that our opponent is on the Black Deck's list with Wastes and Strips and no hate. We've got Bazaar of Baghdad, Vigor, Unmask. So we can unmask Self if we get through this first turn, but we may want to unmask them in case they're on Ravenous Trap. Okay, opponent's first turn. We've got no hate, but we do have Bridge from Blows. Ichrid, Stinkweed Imp is very powerful. No hollow one. I'm going to unmask myself. Pitching a Poxwalker to the unmask. Discarding a Stinkweed Imp. And then I'm going to imp myself. I'm going to imp myself pretty big. So Shambling Shell, Narcomoeba. Narcomoeba, 2 Bridge from Belows and a Dread Return. So let's discard Therapy, Stinkweed Imp. Stinkweed Imp. We'll get our Narcomoeba back. What can they ever have here? They do not have Ravenous Trap. They do not have They don't have Ravenous Trap. They don't have Leyline. Does anything matter? I've not got any Poxwalkers. I don't know if there's anything I want to name, is there? Do I care about any of the cards in their hand right now? Noxious is the most annoying one. So I could just go for a Noxious. Or I could wait a turn and then I'd get my Poxwalkers at the same time. But I'm going to get stripped, so I'm not going to have quite such good dredging next turn. There's an Icarid there that's going to eat my bridges, so I do have to go. Okay, so let's go. Let's just go after a Noxious Revival of theirs. My bridges are about to get eaten, aren't they? So Noxious Revival. They've got Narc Strip. Oh, the cards. Okay, this one could be difficult. Yeah, their hand was useless, but they've got the Wasteland rolled up, and I've got 2 tokens, which the Icarids are going to come over the top of. Stinkweed Imp hits Creeping Chill. Just a Creeping Chill so far, as they discard down. I'm going to get stripped, though, which is going to be annoying. Maybe I could have hit my Dread Return. Maybe that was the game there. But will my imps do anything for me ever? I don't know if they will, actually. I think I might just get beaten down by their army before we actually get anywhere. We've not drawn a Street Wraith this game. I'd like to do that at some point. Just that little push more. But we did at least get a dredge going. So that's something. If only gets 2 Icarids. The Icarids are going to eat my bridges, which is sad. They've got Grave Troll, Amalgam, Silver Smoke, Silver Smoke. So they're going to attack me for lethal next turn. So how many chills did you use here? Just 1. Is there any reason not to block? Is there any reason to block? I guess I don't block because I want to dredge 6. I dredge 5 and then get my Bazaar back. Or not get my Bazaar back. I want to dredge 5 and then dread return a Living Laser. But then I won't have dredge discard anything. We've got problems because Creeping Chill kind of just knocks us dead in one shot, right? Now I'm not 20ing them at all. I'll mill 5 anyway. So this achieves nothing. This therapy. And I'm taking 6, 12, 18. I block 2. I take 12 to the board. Okay, so we do die. The Wasteland very good there because we hit the laser, we had the Dread Return, we just had to go and find another Narcomoeba or Poxwalker, and we were in. On the play, I think I'll take my probe back in. And I think I'll send out. I don't need the Vigors, right? Because they've shown me the Wastelands. So then I can have Poxwalker back in, I can have Phantasmagorian back in, and I can have a Grief in here as well. They've shown me that they have the Wastelands, so usually they don't have the hate. So we're just going to assume that they've copy and pasted from black decks. We'll powder this, getting rid of 2 Poxy Boys. Powder this again as well. And now I've got 2 Bazaars, 2 Living Lasers, and no Dredger. That was a lot of Dredgers that went. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this could be an interesting game. See what our opponent goes to. Tezzy Mols to 6. You're more than welcome to go lower than that, though, sir. So we really need this Dredger to. We really need this first activation to hit a Dredger. Oppo keeps on 6. Does not leyline me. Which is either fortunate or they just don't have it, and we're leaning towards they just don't have it. We're going to activate here. If Magic Online fancies letting me, there we go. So in we go. No Dredger again. Just get rid of 3 cards. Hiding the bridge from below. From any Icarids. We may just get stripped here. But they could also just look at the fact that I haven't got a dredger and say I can push ahead with a bazaar activation. Yeah, that's good for us. They miss on dredger, but they have double hollow one, triple hollow one. Okay. 2 cards left in hand. We'll go upkeep because we want to hit quickly. We miss. That's really annoying. That is really annoying. Poxwalkers, Narcomoeba, Living Laser. Take our draw step. Icarid. Activate again. Hit Stinkweed Imp at last. So the Icarid's going to come in. So actually it's going to come off of the unmask and hide my 2 bridges, but protect a thing. We can die here, right? This is 15 on board. So then 2 Creeping Chills kills us. Yeah, 2 Creeping Chills is lethal. Oh no, they don't have a dredger. Okay. I assume you go over the top of this though. Okay, no, they don't. They don't do anything. So what? Do they have Force of Will in hand? Do they have another Bazaar of Baghdad in hand? I don't know what. I don't know why we wouldn't activate there. A Wasteland, sure. Wasteland's fine. Okay. Right. Is there a realistic world where our opponent can have? Are they going to noxious my Stinkweed Imp? Okay, that's pretty annoying as well. So I take some damage. There's a Stinkweed Imp on top of my deck. So we will put a Bazaar on top of our deck. Going to 6. So then I'll draw Bazaar of Baghdad. They have 2 Noxious. 2 Noxious would be sad. We'll draw the Bazaar for the turn. And then we'll activate one, and then we'll activate the other one and hope to get there. We'll have an Icarid in play by that point as well, which will kick off this therapy. So I'm going to eat one of these Poxwalkers. I think they've got another Noxious because they're playing a bit slowly here. So draw step. We draw our Bazaar of Baghdad. We'll activate. Oh, we shouldn't have activated. We should not have activated. So they go in. This goes in. 2 bridges and a Poxwalker is enough for a Dread return. So let's therapy you off of this Icarid. So then I can actually go over the top of their Noxious with. I can go over the top of their Noxious with an activation, which protects me from their Noxious revival the whole time through. So maybe we did play this well, but it just didn't feel very well, very, very good, you know? It felt like I'd done something clunky. I'm going to name Noxious Revival on them. Noxious Revival. And if they have an errant Ravenous Trap, then it's just game, but I don't think they can have that. So let's say Noxious. They did have the second Noxious. And now we can go. We need to hit 1 creature or 1 therapy and a bridge and a dread return. That's a shambling shell, that's a dread return. They're at 18, so I think they lose here. Dread return the living laser, and I should get 5 copies of it. That's right, isn't it? Maybe 6 copies. The living laser is legendary. I can't get anything else that's worthwhile. I can actually. I can get an Icarid. Icarid attacks now. Dread return an Icarid. Probably the funniest play we'll do today, despite having the living laser in our deck. And in we go. Get rid of the graveyard. And bash. Minus 13 points for you. Pew pew. Okay, so next round we're up against Justin, who's on the play, probably playing some sort of fantastic card deck. We're going to keep our hand of bazaars. We've got a nice one here because we've got some discard to do. We can dig deep into our deck. It just depends on how big Justin goes. If we get fantastic card, we've only got one of these two additional dredge effects, which is a bit of a shame. Oppo mulligans to 6, has a Mox Opal. Okay, so we've gone a bit different here. Vexing Bauble is obnoxious. Soul Ring. And then what else have you got? 3 mana, the 1 ring. Okay. We are going to struggle here. We are going to struggle. So we need our Icarids, and we need our Poxwalkers. So, we got a second Bazaar of Baghdad. We can't do a lot. Activate, discard, Stinkweed Imp, Shambling Shell, Cabal Therapy. And I think we still cycle the Street Wraith and dredge our Stinkweed Imp. And what do we hit? We hit a Bridge, we hit another Therapy. We can't cast any spells because of Vexing Bauble. So our dreams have been thwarted for a moment here. Let's see how quickly we die to them. The Vexing Bauble's a massive issue. They've got another Workshop and a Mystic Forge. They bink an Ancient Tomb with the Mystic Forge. Play a Manifold Key, which will untap one of the two, the Ring or the Forge. I presume the Ring, yeah. The Ring is the one. And none of our spells are going to resolve with this Vexing Bauble in the way. There's a Fantastica for them. They might be lining that up for next turn. No, it just goes now. Wow. That was sick. That was really sick. So someone makes 4/4s, but it's just not us. And these are flying, so I need to hit every Narcomoeba in my deck to survive next turn. That's pretty tough. Okay, well, we'll give it a go. I've got 2 Bazaars, right? So mill 4, mill 5, no Narcomoebas there. Oh, there's one. So let's go. I don't have many good plays. I have to still keep going though, right? But a Narcomoeba doesn't work for me now. Getting rid of a Narcomoeba doesn't work. So, are we just dead? We're just dead to Vexing Bauble, right? Turn 1 Vexing Bauble is a real problem. Like, we've got a kill if we could resolve spells. If we could resolve spells, we would win, because we've got the second Bazaar, we've got the Draw Step Dredge. If I block everything, then what do I get back in exchange? I would get lethal zombies, but they have 4 cards in hand, they have access to their whole deck. They're going to draw 9 next turn. I think we can call it a day and not go too deep into our deck against them. So, okay. And I want the Vigors and I want the Mind Break traps, right? So our opponent's deck is all about that dump my hand life. So let's drop a Phantasmagorian. I'm on the play, so the Griefs and Unmasks of me cracked. I'm going to drop a Living Laser. I'm going to drop a Dread Return. And now, how do we play? I think the Git Probe can go. Are we trying to nickel a bit more and dime a bit more? Or are we just trying to bash face still? I guess if I'm responding with Mind Break Trap on the play, then I am looking at nickeling and diming. Maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I just want to do this then. Probe, Dread Return, Laser, Phantasmagorian. Maybe I keep the probe, get rid of a thug. And on the play, we'll just have Vigors for hate pieces, and on the draw, we'll bring in the traps. How does that sound? Because I'm going to Grief and Unmask as well, right? So let's give this a go, I think. I think on the draw, I'm going to have these traps, don't you worry. But this doesn't have a Bazaar, so we'll mulligan. This is a Powder hand. That's a really rough powder hand for us. We'll hide a Narcomoeba though. And then we'll powder this lot. And then we'll mulligan to 5. And then to 4. And then we'll keep this. And we'll send away a Narcomoeba. And a Serum Powder. Oh, another one, okay. And a Cabal Therapy, I guess. We're going to go up and down on Bazaar of Baghdad first, because we might hit a bridge from below, we might hit a dredger like this. So let's discard these 3. Probe you, dredging a Stinkweed Imp. Did I hit another dredger? Yes, I hit a Shambling Shell. So now I'll grief you and see what you're working with. You've got One Ring, Fantastica, Grim Monolith, Workshop. Okay. So we can go... So what can we take? We could take the Monolith. Monolith's interesting, but if they've got turn 2 ring rolled up. So what's their turn next turn? It's just Workshop Car. So I guess it's just we just take the One Ring, right? We'll just take the One Ring. I didn't hit any bridges. We've only got 2 Narcs in our deck, and one of them's low down. There's no Icarid here. So the fail rate, the fail case we could have here is going to be... The fail case here is going to be the... Oh, what's it called? Finding that first creature to come into play. So Workshop. I assume Car, unless you top deck another 4-drop. Grafdigger's Cage kills us. That's a sick top deck. That's like fairly unacceptable. I can't do anything, right? We can just move on with our lives. They didn't have that, right? Let's just double check. There's not much I can do about that. Yeah, I think we can just call it there because we can sit around and get beaten down. But the thing is that opponent's got Fantastica in hand. They've got a Wormcoil Engine rolled up for next turn, and I need to get up to Force of Vigor to another card, kill their Grafdigger's Cage, and not be dead in the meantime. So I don't think that's feasible. Hated out by Raker Shops. Hated out hard. Interesting quick spot here though. Just like both games, the Fantastica wasn't the thing, even though our opponent had it. Game 1, they had Vexing Bauble. I could kill through the car. I had that second Bazaar and probably a very easy kill from there. And then game 2 here, they've just top decked a cage on us. So if we're playing these combo decks, there's no reason why we can't beat the car exactly. It's just the things around the car are going to be a problem for us, the dredge players. But no, that was just a pretty rancid top deck for us to have to experience. Next round though, we're up against one Gia. We're on the draw. We've got ourselves a powder. There's also some sketchy powder moments in the last game. We don't usually have those, but I just feel like we're super all in on our Narcs. Otherwise, the Icarid is basically like a time warp. We're still going to kill you, but only next turn is a problem. So I did consider like a Dakmor salvage for Bloodcasts, because that's a bit faster than Icarid. But that means I'd have to cut Icarid. Maybe I should have actually. Maybe it does make us just that much faster. Let's powder this. So I don't discard the Icarid on turn 2. On turn 1, sorry. It's not coming in for a while. We'll keep this. We'll get rid of the powder itself. We've got the world. And by the world, I mean we've got no dredgers. Ooh, see you later, Magic Online. Thanks for coming along, though. Let's say done. Opponent doesn't have a Lurus today, but maybe they play something else, and it's just in my mind. So, Ancient Tomb. Pays 2. We're just going to get rakered the rest of the day. Grim Monolith. Taps Grim Monolith. Glaring Flesh Raker. Looks like it. Does nothing else. Stinkweed Imp. So, I think in this exact instance, I'm going to need to unmask them. Is that true? I've got a therapy. Now I think I need to unmask them. So let's activate. Oh, we've got an unmask twice now, so I kind of don't want an unmask twice. I kind of want. I can unmask next turn as well. Maybe I do want to unmask. Maybe I want to play as if I'm unmasking twice. So I'll go Imp, Ick, Laser, Unmask Pitching, Pox. No, Unmask Pitching Therapy. Because Poxwall can get eaten by an Icarid if there's nothing going on in hand for our opponent. And then from there we'll see. We'll see what they've got to say. We could have unmasked Self and tried to just race. But I think the risk of one ring makes this a matchup where we kind of need to take a quick look and make sure the coast is clear. There's the One Ring, there's Tezzeret. So we'll be taking both of those cards. So thanks a lot. That was cool of you and stuff. But we'll get rid of those, leave our opponents with Git Probe and Soul Ring. And then they'll probe me and see a Narcom Weaver. There we go. But we're winning there on 16. So, and then they've drawn a Sapphire. We could take a bunch of damage. We've got the Stinkweed Imp to do a bunch with this turn. So they make the Soul Ring. They found something else off their probe, and it's a Mystic Forge. And their top card, they'll pay a life here if it's crap. They get rid of an Academy. They sacrifice a token. They sacrifice a card. They sacrifice a card. They cast a Glaring Fleshraker. We take more damage. Sacrifice a token, and it's a top, and we're dead. Okay. The opponent run hot here is incredible. The combo here is Mystic Forge is a top, so we just die to the same top combo as always, but they can just cast the top. So pretty difficult time to be out in the streets. We're gonna take just the Vigors like we did last time. I think I like that as a plan. And we'll get rid of a Phantasmagorian, a Living Laser, a Golgari Thug, and a Cabal Therapy. And then we'll have the Mind Breaks on the draw in game 3. Over what, I can't answer right now, and I'm sorry for that, but that's what we're going to do. Okay, we're on the play this time. We'll powder this. We lose one Living Laser. But here we've got an activation, a Grief, no Dredger. We do get a token. Okay, so we will go to our main phase and activate our Bazaar of Baghdad. We find a Dredge return. No Dredger here, which is a shame. And I could have cycled Street Wraith to look for it, but then it negates the use of Street Wraith. So let's get rid of Icarid, Bridge, Dread Return. No, the bridge is precious, and they play that other card. Glaring Fleshraker. Let's get rid of these 3. Let's grief off the Poxy Boy. Maybe I didn't discard my bridge. I'm so stupid. That was the whole point of keeping the bridge. Oh well. Maybe the bridge is more precious long term. Right, so once again, for the 3rd game in a row, we're going to see our opponent's hand and know that they've got nothing. Okay? So, just air over there for our opponent. I don't have a 2-2. And I apologise for that. There's a chance that that's fine, and that with reps, that's actually how you want to play. I can imagine that being a world where we get, a few months down the line, and you're like in your bridge from below decks, you don't actually want to discard your bridges until you know that it's going to be around for a while. Okay, so that's a top decked Fleshraker. Our opponent's going to have spells for the rest of the game. My Living Laser is going to struggle to get through. So Petal, Tezzeret, City of Traitors, Mox Emerald, Mana Crypt. I assume Mox Opal comes in as well. Oh, the Mana Crypt might not. Oh, just the one. Okay, they're holding Mana Crypt, Mox Opal. Icarid triggers. Let's activate this. We do hit a dredger and another bazaar of Baghdad, which is pretty tasty. Let's eat a grief. Go to our draw step and dredge a thug. We missed on another dredger, which is a shame. I get a Narcomoeba into play though. I can play and activate this bazaar of Baghdad. Okay, this is interesting. 3 bazaars or 4 more cards now. I've got a Poxwalker. I can trade a Narcomoeba. I know they've got Mana Crypt and Mox Opal. Let's just hold the bazaar then. Let's narc you. I get a Poxy Boy for sure. They should make a mana. They didn't. We'll take the Mana Crypt, right? I guess. Mana Crypt, Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt, City of Traitors, Mox Opal. Now we can just attack for fun. There's nothing to unearth at the moment, but the third bazaar is a really interesting draw. And they give me another token. Okay. That spawn kills the token. They've got Mox Opal City of Traitors at last check. That's the Mox Opal that we know about. And they're just passing back to us. Our Icarid's going to come back. And they're going to float 1. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to eat my Street Wraith. I didn't use last turn. I go to my draw step and give up the joke that I've got 3 Bazaar of Baghdad's. Now I'm going to play my Bazaar, activate it, and just go off as much as possible. So Stinkweed Imp, Shambling Shell. Ding, ding, ding. Are they going to concede on us? Or am I just lagging out? One of the two. One of the two for sure. Ding, ding, ding. And then Bazaar of Baghdad again. All it takes to beat Raker is 3 Bazaars. It's pretty easy. We play 4 of them. That said, I can still miss from here, can't I? Can I still miss from here? I've got 14 cards left in my deck. There's 1 living laser in my sideboard. Stinkweed Imp. There's a living laser. There's a Golgari Grave Troll. I don't think I can lose from here. I've discarded a lot of cards this turn. I don't know how many. The Phantasmagorians aren't doing a lot for us, but they could do in the future, you know? That's the thing. Maybe 1 was the right number of those. I registered 2 in the end, but... Okay, so we don't know any cards in their hand. Let's take a look anyway. Off of a Narcomoeba, I guess. And then we dread return. I get 1 Poxwalker back. He's tapped. And then we'll just dread return off of Narc, tapped Pox, zombie token. So I've got 3 cards left in deck. And they're all bridge from belows, right? Oh no. 1, 2, 3 bridges. One of them's a bridge from below. I don't know what they can have. I really don't know what they can have. They've got City of Traitors. They don't play any instants, right? So we can just take like a Mind Break Trap as... Mind Break Trap, let's say that. Oh, I hate the bit where I have to spell to the general public. They got Dismember. Okay, that one's annoying, so we'll take that. I don't have any more therapies. I don't have any more therapies. I don't have any bridges. Okay, so our game's pretty tough here. I do want to cry. Dismember's a sick card. Man, if I'd found that name, I would have been so happy. I didn't even think of it, though. I'm not even going to cast enough spells. Okay, Dismember's really interesting, because that actually beats up on our guy. So do I just want to get a Grave Troll? I could just get a Grave Troll. Oh, I can get a Grief. Okay. I found a line. I don't know why it took me so long. Grief, and then Dread return the Living Laser. Off of the Grief, I guess. And opponent concedes to that. Okay, well, that wasn't convincing. My head was a bit all over the place in our sequencing towards the end. On the draw, I want the traps, is what we've been saying. The Phantasmagorian, I'm less and less convinced about. The Probe, I don't think I need on the draw. Living Laser, I powdered one last game, and that was fine. The bridges are a liability. I think we can rely on the Poxwalkers a bit more. And then Grief is quite slow, so I'm just going to trim that. That's what we're going to go with. Okay, we've got a Bazaar. We've got no turn 1 protection. We could be gone pretty quickly. Mox Jet is how they start. Into a Vexing Bauble. Okay. And then Tolarian Academy makes a Pithing Needle. Wow. Okay, that's going to be a tough one, but we will discard to hand size first of all. This is how we roll in such situations. This Academy taps for a bunch. Okay. This is the problem, right? Is they've just got so much hate post board. Because this is just a graveyard nuke and it's over. Like, this is just Grafdigger's Cage and we're completely dead. Because we can't kill any of the hate pieces. Yeah. And that's where the hollow ones and that are so good. But we're not in this spot. Also didn't register Mental Misstep, but let's not talk about that. Okay, next round we're up against Shikamaru on the draw. We're going to powder our 2 bridges. We're going to powder our 2 Phantasmagorians and 2 powders and 2 therapies. Oh, that's a cool hand. And now we've got some cards that we can work with. Let's have a quick check in here. 2 therapies, 2 Phantasmagorium, 2 bridges, 2 imps, 1 Icarid, 1 Grave Troll. We keep. I've got no interaction on 1. I am on the draw. Opponent hasn't revealed a Lurus. Probably just Raker Shops again then. Hopefully they're on Bazaar of Baghdad, because then we can feel good about our chances. But seems fine. They've just conceded the game. It's a bit weird. How do I see chat? Nothing was said. I just powdered twice and they conceded. So we'll grab ourselves these lot here, right? And we'll drop. I think we're going to drop 1 Phantasmagorian, 1 Thug, 1 Therapy, 1 Probe, 1 Bridge, 1 Grief, 1 Living Laser, 1 Dread Return. So just trim everything. Add Trap and Vigor. Opponent has 61 cards in their deck, and we've got 53. Now we've got Trap, Vigor, and a Bazaar of Baghdad, so we'll keep this. And see what our opponent does. They've got a Leyline of the Void, and a Chance of the Annex. Okay. So just on mono white then. Some Mox Jet. The Meadow, and a Void Mirror. That kills us, right? Yeah, that's fine. So just on mono white, which should be fine. We just can't beat that hand. So I do want Grief in my deck. I think I'm just actually just going to come off this Phantasmagorian. I do kind of want these revivals in there somewhere. I just don't know where, and I'm quite happy with my configuration. So the Vigors are really weak without those Noxious though. So maybe I am supposed to be making major concessions. I've got no Hollow One Duke. Is the big issue here. And not having the Hollow Ones just leaves you dead in these games. I mean, maybe I've built my deck wrong and that I don't have enough green cards full stop. And I have to bring those Vigors in. They've got the exact same opener as last time. So cycle a Street Wraith. Play a Bazaar and activate it. Hit nothing. We just need to remember that Chancellor trigger. We've got no reason to go for it right now. The grief. Let's get the Chancellor out. And then if they void mirror us, we're just cold. Oh, that's all they've got. Okay. There's a Force of Vigor. There's some more cards. Let's get rid of Shambling Shell, Icarid, Stinkweed Imp. Let's grief you off of Icarid. That happens. Back to you. We'll let them go because they might play a Chrome Mox. They don't. So now we can just kill that. And then activate our Bazaar of Baghdad. Discard our cards. Oh, yeah, I definitely didn't need my Break Trap in this game, did I? Get a Narcomoeba. Nothing to do with my therapy, sorry, so I'm just going to let that go for now. Chancellor's pointless and they're dead. Okay, so opponent's kept a nonsense hand. It's one of those things where, I don't know, you cannot keep just Leyline, I don't think, because I'm going to be drawing 2 cards a turn. Maybe it's fine against this configuration because my deck's so bad, but I don't think that's a keep. Okay, so final round, we're up against Tart Jordan for the 3 and 2. We're going to mulligan our hand. We're going to mulligan our hand. Jordan's got a suspicious amount of range for someone who should just play lizards. And we're going to powder this. We're going to hide a Dread Return, and we're going to hide a Dread Return. And then we'll mulligan. And then we'll mulligan. We haven't gone too low so far this league, so it's only fair. We'll keep this. We'll send these guys to the bottom. And say done. Oppo's on the play. They've played a lot of Duel in the past, so maybe they've got that out today. No, they're on the Bazaars, which means they are on the Lizards. I guess they're trying to punish the Fantastica players for, like, I want to do this too. There's the Fantastica guys who are just, their whole plan is to just dump their hand, and that's really good for the Lizards, you know. So let's go up and down on this Bazaar of Baghdad. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's discard 3 cards, and then we will look to grief in the future, maybe off of a Thug next turn. Off of an Imp, possibly, depending on what we hit. If I hit a second Imp, then I can do it off of an Imp. Oppo gets a Squee back. They discarded a Venturine and a Chalice to the Void. Chalice obviously just a blank in this matchup. And then Noxious Revival and Wasteland are obviously going to be nightmares. I can dredge up a Stinkweed. If I get, so this is a Lizard coming in, which means they've also drawn a hollow one because they're going to 4 us straight up. Oh, they've got another Bazaar, which means we're untapping with our Bazaar. So it's something to note. There's the other Lizard. Only 1 Vengevine. 2 Squeeze over there though. 2 Bazaars. 4 cards in hand. So Blue Permission likely. Noxious Revival possible. We're going to dredge in our upkeep on Stinkweed Imp and Thug. And then we'll dredge up again to cast this Grief. So Stinkweed Imp first. Then a Golgari, Thug, and a Narcomoeba. Let's discard these 3 cards that don't do anything. They could... Well, I'm in my upkeep, so they can't really Noxious my Narcomoeba here. Unless they've got 2 Noxious, at which point it might be worth trying to do. But the second is pretty tough. I'm gonna dredge a Stinkweed Imp anyway. I don't care. And now I'm going to do I Therapy Force of Will and then cast Grief. What do I have in my bin? Nothing. That's a shame. Let's just cast Grief because I don't have anything. I can maximize my therapies. If this gets forced, I can name Noxious. I don't get anything back, but I assume they die the following turn. No, I need bridges, don't I? That's what I really need. So They've got Force of Will. I'll take Noxious off this grief. Noxious is more annoying. So I've not got any Bridge from Belows. I've not got any Poxwalkers. I've got one Icarid, so I just need to hit one Narcomoeba or something next turn. They do have a Noxious Revival. I don't know what they Noxious. Vigor Commandeer. I want Game Log though. Noxious Icarid. Okay. None of this matters, right? We can just take Commandeer to keep them off of Force of Will. Does that work? Not really. Well, the Vigors are dead, so actually I can just, if I Vigor now, then I can get you. No, we don't need to. We don't need to care about what they're doing. We'll pass the turn. We'll take our 6, and we've got therapies for days next turn. Our dredgers aren't too spectacular. Our opponent has got a strong number of looks at a wasteland, and wasteland really kills my living laser. So it's nice that we've been able to find a method of getting worse against wasteland. One of the vigors go to the bin. Up and down again. Opponent's got far too much card velocity for me to think I'm going to survive too long here. And post board, Jordan's usually on a fairly sizable selection of ley lines and ravenous traps, which is something I don't usually endorse, but that's what they do, and that's fine. So we still miss on dredgers. We hit the grave troll this time, plus a poxwalker, so that should give me enough to. Unless they found a Noxious Revival, this should give the bridge and the poxwalker should give me enough to make my dread returns, and I get to attack them for 16 and lose to their board. Nice. We've got Noxious on. I don't know what. Noxious on bridge from below. Let's get this out of here. Now the living laser is lethal. So we can go for Force of Will, first of all. Or Noxious, first of all. They've just Noxious me, though. What did they Noxious that time? Right, let's look at the. I should look at the game log. It's just it's off. Okay, so they actually double Noxious. They double Noxious bridge from below. What's going on? They double Noxious bridge from below. My game just completely collapsed. Yeah, my bridge from below is still here in my world. I don't understand how there's a bridge from below here. The bridge from below. I did get a zombie. So they hit the bridges anyway. They double Noxious bridge. So what can they have? Mind Break or Noxious again? Let's go for Noxious first. I don't think they can have 3 Noxious, but let's just take it anyway. Mind Break Trap. Yeah, okay. So I was right the first time. Mind Break Trap you. Sorry, I got a bit confused about the I got a bit confused about the targets on Noxious. And my chat is off screen. So then I had to try and find my chat log. But as it transpires, we should be good to just dread return a living laser. And I've discarded 4 cards this turn? 3 cards this turn? Does it tell me? Newly controlled. No, that's not very useful. Can't do that. I can dread return Icarid again though, can't I? So let's do that. Dread return an Icarid and attack for what I assume is lethal. So this guy, in we go. Living it, laser, and they're dead. So it was 16. I didn't need the Icarid, but we did it anyway. Nice. Okay. Things get a lot harder post board. So I think they've got Leyline. And I think they've got Ravenous. So I want my figures and Noxious. I don't want my probes because I've got therapies. Dread Return, Laser, Phantasmagorian, Thug, Grief, maybe a Pox can go. What did I do last time? I don't know. I think it's fine. Let's just go and jam this game. But if they're on 4 ley lines, 4 traps, then we're just kind of fucked. I've got quads, I win. Oh yeah, look at that. That's the perfect powder. I mean, before you get ley lined and trapped. Okay. We're in their upkeep though, I think, so I don't think they've got the trap. The ley line. Which is great news for the griefy boy. So opponent has a Bazaar of Baghdad, activates it, and discards. I guess I'm gonna guess 3 cards is gonna go to the bin. Vengevine, Lizard. So I lied. Only 1 card went to the bin. So they do get the quick aggression. We've got the quick grief, which comes with a 2/2, which is pretty tasty. Think you'll agree. Vengevine in for 4. I go to 16. Poxwalker. I don't want to cast grief. I want to play Bazaar of Baghdad and activate it. I'd love to hit a second Bazaar here. Do not. Icarid. I think Stinkweed Imp Bridge is where we're going to go here. The problem with Bridge, though, is that I just die so hard to Noxious Revival if I do that. So I think we have to discard the Stinkweed, which means I can then grief you off of Pox or Bridge itself. I think Pox. I think Bridge is a threat going long. So that's the second time today I've thought, oh, I'm going to do that. But, like, we've got to get the Icarid trigger. We need to dredge. And the... Yes, they Noxious a Stinkweed Imp. And then they Noxious a Stinkweed Imp. Okay, so they've just got the double Noxious again. And if they've got the Wasteland, which they do, then I'm just cold. We'll take the other guy, getting our point of damage. And now I get stripped and die. I'm actually just dead on board, right? 6, 6. Oh no, so 6 this turn, 7. And I'm holding 2 Stinkweed Imps when they attack me again. Okay. That's fine. I am actually just mathematically dead. Double Noxious. Okay. Double Noxious is tough. On the play this time. So I think I want a grief again. I think all my other cards are too dope to get rid of. I need the Noxious. I want the Vigors. I'm just going to come off the grief again. I've still got Unmasks and Therapies. Maybe the cut is actually a therapy. We'll powder this. We'll mulligan this. And then we'll keep our no interaction Vigor hand. So we'll keep this and we'll send... I think Phantasmagorian can go. That one's not come up. It was a nice idea. Looks like a ley line, or they're still mulliganing. Hopefully they're still mulliganing. I'd like that for us. Would really like that. That's the ley line of the void. And there's ley line on 6 is pretty tough. Ley line on 6. Let's activate this because I need to find a green card. I'm going to grief them as well. No, I'm not. I'm going to pay 2 life. It's a bridge from below. Let's just try and get something out of them. Bazaar, force of will. Okay. Maybe force was the take, actually. Now I can't resolve my Vigor. when they hit a blue card. Oh yeah, I think I've just punted this match with that play. I literally didn't think. I just breathed a sigh of relief that there's no strip mine. Oh, so they found it as well. They just immediately found. Just immediately found their Master of Death. I can't respond here, but I can respond to the Master of Death trigger. Oh no, they didn't discard any green cards, any blue cards, sorry. So, do I just go upkeep and then cry? So I know about 2 of their cards, it's just 1 mystery card. I think I just have to go now. I think I fucked this up. If they have this Force of Will, I just think I just fucked this whole game up by taking Hollow One. They get to activate in response on upkeep. If they discard the Bazaar here, we're in a lot of trouble. They do discard Bazaar and Wasteland, yeah. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. That was all on me. So I could just have a stupid 4/4 in play, and we wouldn't really care. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. Anyway, like a 4/4 doesn't do anything if I have 40 of them. I was just so happy not to see a Wasteland in hand. And now they've got a Squee going, they've got a Lizard going. Their opponent can't participate, and they're just having the time of their life. So let's draw a card. And this is a draw and pass straight back, this one. So we found one piece of the puzzle. The other piece of the puzzle is still in our deck somewhere. So they activate with the Squee in hand. They discard Master Vengevine Squee. Back to you. And we'll have a go at some point if we hit another Vigor. But if this Vengevine lands, then we need to hit a Vigor and rebuild. But Living Laser was a fun idea. Squee goes to the bin from the Oppo. These are the best games with Squee. It's just how long does your opponent hang on for. Let's activate this for a Vigor. And miss. I also need to. I forgot about this part of this deck. This style deck is you also need to think about how you kill them post leyline. So with no bridges, with -3 bridges, I was supposed to probably hold on to that Poxwalker. Maybe not, because I still got 1 bridge, 3 Pox. 1 Dread Return is gone. Do I sideboard out a Dread Return? And there's a Strip Mine. Okay, that'll do it though. That is it. That is the game. In 14 turns I'll die, and if I cast any spells between now and then, they'll get countered. So, good games. We got wrecked. Okay, so that was an interesting experiment. The Living Laser was cool. Don't think it's going to take the Grizzlebrand slot for me. I think Grizzlebrand still remains the best target. Going to be an interesting day when that changes. There is also some other dude in this format. This guy here is a Dread Return target. Pay 3 life Connive is pretty interesting because then I can just keep paying 3 life. So maybe in a Creeping Chill build, just pay 3 life, Dredge a Stinkweed Imp, Dredge a Grave Troll, and I can just go through my whole deck in that manner. And the nice thing about that is we never run out of dredges, which has happened to me with Icarids before, with Grizzlebrand before. So maybe we'll try this guy. He does die to Artifact Hate, which I don't think matters. He is a villain, and he does have lifelink, so there we go. That's And what does he kill? All your creatures. So he kills that. He actually kills all the Raker tokens. Is that good? It's not bad, is it? Creature opponents control get -1/-1. It's not bad. Your Orc's dead. You have to discard to your frog to do anything, and this guy's thick as fuck and flying already. Maybe he's sick, actually. maybe he is sick. We'll try that next time. For now, Living Laser was very fun. We're gonna do it a couple of times. The games against Reika were interesting. Just how quickly they had their hate online. Um, so that was pretty brutal. And then we played against Mono White, where we had no games really. My opponent conceded to Serum Powder. Then they got Void Mirror Leyline Chancellor, which is unbeatable for us. And then they kept just a single Leyline, which isn't enough in my opinion. And then game three, I think I just fucked up, to be honest with you. Game three, round 5 against Tar Jordan, I think I just fucked up. I just looked at their hand, I was like, there's no wasteland there, life is sweet. And didn't take, and then just took the hollow one with the, and I took it too quickly. I didn't didn't think anything through, and should have just taken Force of Will, because then I actually have outs in that game, whereas I was giving them access to their whole deck of 20 blue cards or whatever. But never mind. This deck was very fun. I'd highly recommend trying out the Living Laser. I think the Street Wraiths are interesting to go alongside it. I think the Unmasks are interesting to go alongside it. I think the Phantasmagorium was cute but not good. And we need a plan for those Raker decks if that's the joke. Maybe the plan is Lizards and Squeeze. Let's consider that. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the future. I need to play lands. I want to play that card I just showed you. And I want to play Lizards into Fantastic R format. So that's what's coming up soon. Hope you're good, and take care.